recognized. But I guarantee you, like what I mentioned last year, if there was a fight or if there was a problem, the news media would be all over it. But why is it that when there's something positive going on, nobody's around to see it? Nobody's around to say, hey, good job. We're proud of you. No, nothing. But so that's why I started the scholarship, because sometimes people don't know how much that extra little bit of money goes. I'm teaching out there in Ohio, and I have a student who got a 2 on his midterm. And this is a student who sees me. I went to the football game, because, I'm social. I take a look around. And he sees me at the football game. I give him a pound, high five. And I'm like, hey, how's it going? Because I can still talk. I'll be talk. So I see him, I give him a pound, what's going on? We talk. And I still talk to him about other things. He's like, yeah, I like to watch him. I'm like, yeah, cool, okay. And so, but then I turn around and see he gets a 2. And so it made me feel bad, because it's like, okay, you see we can converse. You see that we can communicate, but you still get a 2? So it's understandable if you don't feel like you have a connection with the teacher. That, man, this teacher, he either can't talk my language, he either doesn't look like me, or I don't like the way they're teaching. But you see me out, we have conversations about things that aren't related to school, and you still get a 2? A 2. Like, it's not like a 2 out of 50 and then you multiply that by 2. So it's really 4 out of 100. No, you got a 2 out of 100. Like, yeah, exactly. And so I told him, I said, dude, what happened? And I pulled him up in front of everybody. Everybody wasn't listening, but I was like, who's Dominic? Because even though I knew who the child was, I forgot his name. So it wasn't like I was showing favoritism. So I don't show favoritism in Brittany. And so I just forgot his name. Like, I have like 96 students. I can't remember everyone's name. So I said, what did I say to him? I said, Dominic, what happened? And he's like, I guess I was working too much, and that's what the problem was. I said, Dominic, you need to cut down your shifts. You need to stop working so much so that you can actually get good grades. I'm like, how bad do you really need the money? And I say that, but I didn't actually ask that, because I just couldn't understand it. But, as I was talking to him, that reminded me of why I started the scholarship. Because sometimes people don't know how much that $300 to $500 to $1,000, like that's 1 day less a week they really have to work, for the semester. And so it really goes far, and people don't realize how far it goes. I used to work at Montefiore Hospital, if anyone knows where that's at. And that's in the Bronx. They have different branches. And, I was working, that was a great job to have when you're 18, 19 years old. And that's really how I paid for college. Without that, I don't know how I would have paid for it. Like, I didn't get financial aid, because I applied too late, because I didn't even want to go to school. As some of you know, the only reason I went to school was for this. My championship swimming ring. It's the only reason I went, because I wanted a championship ring. Otherwise, I would have went to a 2-year school. Because I'm so competitive, I was like, I want a championship ring. I don't know what sport I'm going to get it in, but that's why I'm going in. And so I actually got that. My point is that I had a shift where I was full-time at the hospital, making good money for my age. I was making such good money that 40-year-olds approached my mother and told her, hey, tell your son to hook me up with a job in there. I'm like, why? And my hearing that, I'm like, why would they want to work where I'm working? You should want to be above that. You should want to, and so I'm just hearing this and trying to put everything together at this age and experiencing so much. And so, just seeing all these different things caused me to tell my superior that I need less hours. You need to demote me so I can get a better education. Now, even though this is going to, cause me that I can't go out to eat as much, I can't go to Olive Garden every day, I can't go to BBQs and just put whatever I want on the table and, just like that's it. But, if this means that I have more time to study, then this is what needs to happen. And so this is what I talked to Dominic, Demetrius about, last week when I looked at their grades. One got a 21, another one got a 2, and I said, this is unacceptable. This is what I did to come out of it. Because sometimes you don't really get how people came out of it and the experiences that they actually went through. And this is what I really want to share with people because they don't know how to get out of it. I mean, it's just like you're stuck in a maze and, you're learning things, but it doesn't really apply to you per se. So I just try to just share with people different things so that they can just pick and pull of just the concept, not precisely what I'm saying, but just the concept and really just absorb that. And so that's why I just try to explain to him just, sacrificing hours because, what happened to me, I would walk by my kitchen table. I would walk by my kitchen table and wish I could study. But I know I needed the money. And maybe I didn't need it, but I wanted it because I had a job. And so and I wished I could study, but I didn't have it. And it took, I don't know what made me do it. It was just, I just couldn't see myself doing that job for the rest of my life. And I feel like until people really get to see opportunities or options, then that's when they so until someone sees what they don't want to do for the rest of their life, that's when they'll start realizing what they want to do for the rest of their life. Or options that, options that they can take. Like once you start to see, he's cleaning that bathroom up a lot. He has to use gloves. I don't want to do that. Well, at least you know what you want to do. Now aviation school has an open house. You go there. I don't want to do this. At least, and once you start seeing different doors closed, well then you know which ones are open. And that's the concept, that's the idea. So just exposing the children to different things that they wouldn't normally be exposed to, or putting them in contact and say, hey Jimmy, I know you're good in engineering. Can you spend a day with my son? Hey, I know you're good in nursing. Just take him to with you on the job and just let him experience it. Oh, you don't like the medical school? You don't like the medical field? That's fine. Why don't you go to this astronaut school? You don't like astronaut? Okay. Why don't you go? You don't want to be a janitor? Okay, and just find something that they're passionate about. It's okay to force your dreams on them because maybe that's what they want to do. But if they start to give you some resistance, then you just have to take it into a different scope. So that's just coming from the heart. That's just coming from me and from what I've learned.
See, okay. Your point well taken. The question that I have, and someone spoke about it earlier, is it's kind of resentment to a point. You're talking of things after high school or into the work environment. The problem I'm having now, my wife and I having, is our son is in the 10th grade, very smart, and to a point now where I want to feel like he's rebelling against certain things, that he's not putting out what he's supposed to or what he's used to putting out. Now, where do you find the key notes, or how do you motivate them to go back on track? Because my daughter's here now, she's doing very well. And they got this stereotype that girls are more accessible than boys, but I'm starting to believe that. She stayed focused and still staying focused. However, he's been very well. He's come to the point now where he's starting to, I see where he's backing off. What do you do to motivate him to say, well, you don't want to do the X, Y, Z job, or you don't want to do certain things because you feel that within your heart that they're more capable of doing certain things, but they themselves feel like, well, I want to go through this because it's the situation now where he may not have to go to work through high school or to a certain point. We may have the ability to send him straight through college. However, I don't think he's not really seen that he has the opportunity to go right through without any hiccups or without stopping. Yeah, you could go right through, but that's going to be his will and probably my expense. Yeah, but he could still do it. But now, how do you explain that to them that he needs to go through? That's where I'm at right now.
So, I mean, I could definitely talk to him. I could tell you what to say, but sometimes, sometimes it takes other people just putting them in contact with someone who potentially has been what they've gone through. Because I've been there as well. And, in 9th grade, I had 85 average. 85 average, easy, because school was easy to me. I came from a school where, I was getting honor roll every year. And, I'm sorry, I was getting honor roll every year, but when I started to hang out with other people, and started to see different people in my classroom who didn't care about school that started to rub off on me. And that started in 10th grade. It started in 10th grade. So every year, and from sophomore year, I got 75 average. Then junior year, I was down to like a 70 average. And it was just a snowball effect because being surrounded by people, who looked like me, who didn't care about school, it started to make me feel like, well, if you don't care about school, why should I? And so that's the mentality I started to gain. And, what actually snapped me out of it was the robbery that she mentioned. Because I started to feel a connection with my friends so much that I feel like, well, me and my friends are family. I don't need school as an outlet because I have my friends. So I don't need school anymore. I have these tight-knit groups. We do everything together. We hang out. I don't need school. And that's the mentality I started to get. But it wasn't until the robbery happened where I said, oh my God, I don't have my friends. Well, what will I do? Who will I call? And so I was talking to a female friend of mine one day, and I said, man, I don't know why I didn't apply to more schools. What held me back from applying to more schools? I applied to one school in high school going to college. I was like, what stopped me? She said, because you had children, because you had the block, because you had your friends. That's what held you back from applying to more schools. That's because you didn't feel like you needed to go anywhere, because you had everything where you want. So that's what held you back. And I was like, wow, that's a good perspective. Thank you for sharing that with me. I never realized that. So I feel like the best thing to do is to monitor the friends and to make sure that they have somewhat constructive friends. It's not to say that the bad friends are negative influence, because my bad friends have taught me a lot. Like, they taught me a tremendous amount of things that you can't learn in school. And so, but it just needs to at least be like, just monitor the homework and just make sure the homework is done, or maybe create a progress report of your own for the teachers, and ask the teachers, do we need to meet, and just anything and everything that you feel that you're capable of to make sure, because that 10th grade, I'm telling you, is that crucial year, because that's why my grade is just 10 points below. And I was in honors chemistry. I was in honors chemistry sophomore year because, I was smart. And then I was in honors English the junior year, but I'm gonna tell you a quick story about that. And this is one thing that you gotta look at when you talk to the kids. And that's what you have to really talk to them. Like my mother said, she was going through so much, she couldn't really be there mentally. She had to raise 2 kids. She had to, pay rent. She had to, teach us how to wash clothes, because she made us wash all the clothes. And we washed all the clothes. And when we did the food shopping, we pushed the shopping cart there, and we had to cut the coupons. And so, but I say that to say, English. Oh, yeah, English. Yeah. So thank you. So with the classroom setting, watch what the students are taking in the classroom, and if you see a blip in the radar, speak on it. I was in honors English because I was smart. They took me out of honors English. And why did they take me out? There was only 4 males in the class. The other 28 students were females. How do I mysteriously get taken out of the class? Something seemed fishy there. I approached the teacher. I said, Professor, why did you take me out of honors English? He says, oh, because there were too many students. I said, so randomly, I got selected out, the black male? I think that's a problem. He's like, Jamie, trust me, you'll do better in this class. I said, I don't want to do better in this class. I want my class back. He said, no, trust me, I'll give you a better grade in this class. I'm like, but it's going to look better on my college transcript. And he's like, no, trust me. And then a student was there. She co-signed. She said, oh, Jamie, he's going to look out for you in this class, though. And I started getting my grades back, and I'm seeing 85s in regular English. I'm like, I would have rather got an 80 in honors English than an 85 in regular English. But because, unfortunately, my mom was busy taking care of my grandmother with dialysis, I didn't have anyone to turn to. So, yeah. So when you don't have people to turn to, you just get distracted, and so that's why I'm sharing with you. I could talk with him, or you just have to be there and make sure, you know, looking at his classes and making sure that everything should be where they are, and that you're pushing him to take advanced courses. You know, because maybe the classes are too easy.
But he's taking advanced courses as we speak now.
Right.
Things are just slowly declining, and